So I'm essentially gonna
just share my thoughts on this. Not necessarily preach a bunch of facts or anything like that, but more opinion. But essentially, the art of timing, I think, has a lot to do with experience, talent, reference, points of reference. You might hear a certain trigger word that sets off your timing. Timing could do with a lot of different careers. And honestly, everybody has their gifts when it comes to timing. I feel like anybody could be a gifted ninja gaiden in any career that they choose, as long as they have timing, right? As long as they study the sort of like combos and chains that are required to succeed in said. Like a guitarist can't just learn one note. A guitarist has to learn riffs and progressions and things like that, and then they gotta have the timing in which they hit a certain note. They gotta hear things like, oh my god, being a guitarist would be super hard in terms of timing. You have timing as a comedian where the audience could be laughing and you have to pause at that point and then hit them with the punchline. You know, just certain things that require timing. As a musician, you could be recording and they have a thing called ad libs that you basically make a layer over the recording you currently have. So you can have one voice and then you can have two voices. What I like to do is I like to punch both voices to the on mode and then record, and then I have two voices there by default, right? And then I do the ad libs under the two voices. So the voices have more like reverb and reach, and they just cover more of the mic. You have one voice, it's kind of like simple, right? And then ad libs make, they're just a way, it's all timing based. I mean, it's completely timing based. Ad libs. You hear your lyrics and then you add a lib. You it's just very timing oriented. Yeah, you have to know, like I said, there's experience too involved. You gotta listen to a lot of music and know when it's gonna sound good, but also replay the track and listen to it. Okay, so that sounds good. Okay, and it'll just start making sense in your ear. But it's an art. It's an art, and it applies to a lot of walks of life. You gotta have it. It could be like in a split second too. Honestly, it could be 3 seconds that you have to make a decision, and you gotta move, man. That's why it's good to not be drunk. Sometimes it's good. Being drunk mellows you out so that you can think about timing a little bit better. I mean, so you don't think, right? It's kind of opposite. Getting drunk, you don't really think as much. But anyway, see, this is why I like to talk about music. I'm not necessarily the greatest, like, scientist and professor. I haven't studied timing, for instance. So I really don't have a lot of content on that and knowledge. I haven't read a book on timing. But it has to do with a lot of stuff. So like the timing in which your car actuates, and when that chain starts spinning, how it's in what order are things lighting up in your car and starting. Is the carburetor gonna get gas to it before you know the freaking the computers and terminals are getting electricity to them, or it's all timing, and it's all specific, and if it's off, then it could totally reroute and screw up a car or burn a car out. And as soon as you turn a key, things ignite, and it has to be in the right order. It can't be something foreign that we're not used to happening, because it'll screw up our timing. Anyway,